Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This is Karev, and I thank you for coming back to listen to this great interview that we have for you today. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. By fixing your credit, you can afford yourself more money and less stress due to debt. And everybody stresses over bills. To help yourself get over this stress and to get rid of it, repairing your credit would be a great aid not only for you, but for the people that you love, who you may take care of, or even for your personal sanity. Please do yourself a favor and fix your credit, or at least learn about how to use money to better your life and your situation. To do so, please contact Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, or you can call them at 862-250-5122 and tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you, and you'll be rewarded with a special gift. On this episode, we go to Canada. We go above New York and all that other stuff that everybody thinks is the East Coast. We come out of America to go to Canada, the land of the maple leaves. You know, everybody knows about Drake. Everybody knows about Cardinal Official if you are a hip hop head. But today we have one of their special hidden gems that's coming to you to teach about life, overcoming the hardships of life, and even giving a personal story to tell how life isn't over even when people tell you you have a limited time to live. This episode we talk to Faith Walker, a beautiful woman with a beautiful voice. And when I talk about beauty, I'm not talking about how she looks. Y'all can get that for yourself. I talk about the inner person and the spirit. And for you to experience how beautiful she is, I ask of you, please, will you give us your time and listen to this wonderful interview? For those of you that will listen, you're going to get something very special. And for everybody who doesn't know, we've never failed you before at bringing you the best of the new. We bring you on Heritage Hip Hop your future favorite artists right now. So without further ado, we're going to go to this interview, and I'll come back with my commentary at the end.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karev, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. And because we say hip hop, people don't think we invite or enjoy the harmonious voices of music as well. I have one of the most sensual, sincere, and honest voices that you'll ever hear sing on a song. Please introduce yourself.
This is Faith Walker. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Well, if I didn't listen to the music, I would have no idea of what kind of character comes across in your music. Now, unlike other interview shows, I don't really like to ask how you started singing because it's so blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I like to just jump into the meat of the conversation. So, Faith Walker is a singer that has a story to tell. Why don't you tell us why do you sing rather than what made you sing?
I think that I've always just had this feeling that it was my purpose, especially with the songwriting. At first I was writing about love and just, relatable topics that, a lot of R&B soul singers sing about, But then as I certain, life, I definitely found the songwriting gave me a new purpose to inspire others. So now I feel even more motivated to share my story through my music.
Do you think as a singer, it is harder to tell your story than when most rappers rap about their story?
I think it's similar. I think that, in both genres of music, storytelling is really important. I guess the difference would be like putting the melody to it. So I would say that's the main difference is just, having the melody to go with it. But yeah, I think it's very similar to hip hop in a lot of ways.
You know what's funny when it comes to R&B? Everybody who listens to me and Heritage Hip Hop, they know I'm not an R&B person. And it's not that I hate the music, I just could never relate to it. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
But hip hop was more relatable to me because I can see, feel, smell, and taste the hunger, the desire, and the pain within the music.
Yeah.
When it comes to singing, are those easily expressible to you when you sing? The hurt, the joy, the pain, the struggle, the grit, the victory of music in life?
I think so. I think, you know, especially with hip hop, I'm a hip hop lover from day one, and I think that, you know, artists that have that real ability to tell a story and paint a picture visually, you know, it's really important. Like, I think that helps us relate. And I think that often with songwriting, you know, as a singer, you kind of stay to one topic maybe a little bit more than hip hop. You know, they might kind of go from one topic to another, which keeps it interesting. So I think with songwriting and with singing, with the melody, adding the melody into it, it limits you a little bit as far as what you can put into the song. But with practice, you know, hopefully I come across with you know, the emotions that I want people to feel.
By listening to your music, I think you are an expressionist, not I don't want to say influencer. I just want to say a person who just talks to people. You're more of an expressionist, which means that you bring the feeling to the surface rather than the idea to the surface. Because when somebody gets an idea, they can run away with it and just think something else. But when you get the feeling, you get passion and you get indulged into the song. I think you would be a great author, especially of children's stories, because your writing really gets to the matter of the song rather than depleting the harmony of the song. What does that mean to you?
Well, I really appreciate that. I definitely have, you know, plans to put out some books in the future. I like that you said children's story. You know, I'm a mom, so I like to kind of, you know, tell stories to my children, and that probably has been something that I've done since I was a kid. But I think that I would definitely want to put out a poetry book, which is kind of in the works. But I think more importantly, I just want to tell my story because, you know, most people that hear all that I've been through in my life, they're pretty shocked that I'm still, like, I don't know if I'm a cat and I have 9 lives or what, but just that I'm still here and everything that I've been through, I just feel like that's a story that needs to be told. So I definitely, you know, consider myself a writer. I think it's a harder task to kind of tell your life story just because for me, I'm like, okay, where do I even start? You know, but hopefully soon that will be in the works.
That's dope. I mean, let's open up that intrigue that you said already. First of all, congratulations on being a mom. My one thing is, no matter how evil the world is or what people may want from each other, as a mother, you have one of the most enduring jobs and had the most wonderful gift of motherhood that the Most High can give anybody. So salute to you, and I appreciate you as a mom, for one.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Next, you said what you've been through. Now, Heritage Hip Hop was made because there are people who have stories to tell who have not been able to tell their story because they're not mainstream. You know, unless you go stream a million views or something that people be like, oh no, that's not popping. I don't believe in that. I believe everybody has a right to tell their story just the same way every child has a right to be taught and to learn. What is your story? What have you been through that makes your story so eloquent and needed to be told?
Well, I think, I've been through a lot in life, but what stands out the most and what I kind of, the story that I tell through my music more recently is just my cancer battle. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 26, and, I've been fighting on and off for almost 16 years. And I've actually, had stage 4 cancer, which is terminal, for the last, it'll be 12 years coming up. So I know that I've defied the odds, and just the fact that, it's really sad that like the average lifespan for someone diagnosed with stage 4 cancer is 2 to 3 years. So the fact that I'm 12 years later, I'm here for a reason. So that motivates me to tell my story and inspire others to keep going, because I know there's so many people out there that can relate to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a big one. I want to say thank you for telling your story, and we thank the Most High that you're here to be able to tell the story of strength when a lot of people in the world today need to hear stories of strength.
Definitely.
I mean, we live in a society where people are nosy as hell. Don't you agree?
I think so. I think it's
We
in our
got.
nature.
No, yeah, you think it's in our nature?
I think so. I could.
It seems like whenever somebody has something bad to say, everybody's interested. But when somebody has something good to say, people trying to turn their backs. And that's why I think R&B or people who sing have a harder job in music than people who rap. Let me paint the picture. You tell me if you agree or not. And if I'm wrong, it's okay. Speak your opinion. All right. I think hip hop is harder than R&B because you have more to say and little bits of stanzas. I think R&B is harder than hip hop because you have to carry the idea in note rather than in words. So then that note brings something out more different than the word. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I definitely agree. It's, the melody and the notes kind of shape the song. And when I'm writing, I definitely like to let things flow naturally. So I might have 10 beats from a producer and play each one, and it's like the one that gives me that feeling. Then, I go off that feeling and, find the right melody that fits with it, and then find the right person, what I really want to say. Which I think is similar to hip hop. But again, you limitations fitting into a certain melody.
I'm losing you. You're going kind of in and out when you talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Is that better?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
Now, you said that, the melody kind of makes it different from hip hop, right? But here's my thing. Hip hop is a music where you speak the language. R&B is the genre that reflects the language. My question to you is about your song "Enough of Your Love," right?
Okay. Yep.
Let's go into the meat. Now, like I said, like I don't want to be like, what makes you sing? What's not? We're gonna talk about some of this music. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, for everybody out there listening to this podcast, Miss Faith Walker has an album out right now called Head in the Clouds. And on this album, she is really hitting on not only matters of heart, but the matter of life as well. Enough of Your Love talks about a part of life that most people don't express because we're too nosy or too hard on each other. Why don't you talk about Enough of Your Love and what that song meant to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think, earlier in my career when I was, starting out, I definitely wrote about a lot of the struggle, and, the ups and downs of relationships, more the downs than the ups. So Enough of Your Love is really a song that, I try to paint a picture of like what it's like when you actually find someone that, you're really happy with, like that feeling where you can't get enough of them. And that's basically, the premise of the song. Just, the simple things that you might not notice when you're really in love. So I kind of, I like to look at the positives. I like to show the positive sides. I definitely, with other songs, there's a lot of, there's negative things that I've been through, and but Enough for Your Love is definitely one of those. I consider it like it's a feel good song, but it's definitely about like finally finding that person that you've been waiting for and you just can't get enough.
Now, see, I think songs like that are more needed in music, period, than a lot of the things that we're given readily to the mainstream. With hip-hop artists, people always complain that the real hip-hop you don't hear on the radio, and you have to search for it. Do you think it's the same in R&B as well?
Yeah, I do think so. I think that, the commercial stations definitely play the same artist over and over again. So to really, there's so many talented people out there. I interview people for All the Way Live Hip Hop. We do Faithful Fridays. And so every Friday I, put up an interview where I'm speaking to, a singer-songwriter that maybe hasn't gotten that chance to shine, that a lot of people haven't heard of, because there's so many talented people out there, but we're just constantly, hearing the same 5-10 people over and over again when they're, just like hip hop. There's so many talented artists out there that, unfortunately you gotta really search for. I think Spotify and, YouTube has given us, at least somewhere to go to look. But you still have to dig, I find.
Well, I'm glad I found your voice, or it was given to me. Shout out to MJ. I want to say thank you to you for singing your message, because whenever you find something, it brings a joy to you. Like I said, I'm not really into R&B too much because I can't relate to it. But when I hear something that speaks, I always do my best to listen. And one thing everybody knows about me who knows me, I always had big crushes on women who did music, because whether you rap or you sing, there's a confidence in you that brings your message out. When did you knew you could sing, you knew you could write. When did you find your confidence to tell the stories that you're telling in your music?
I think that I've just kind of always been like a straight up person, a little bit of an open book. So, it's like you ask me, I'm going to tell you. And I just think, it's almost something kind of beyond me that tells me that, okay, this is, you went through all this. And part of the reason you went through all this is because other people need to hear your story. So I think, I've been writing for many years, but I think that sharing my truth has just become, really important to me. And it's a great feeling, getting messages from people saying that, like, I've inspired them in some type of way, especially with the video for the Head in the Clouds remix. I don't know if you saw that, but...
Of course. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we share so many different stories. And I think that's so important, to share those true stories of people, facing adversity and, coming out with some kind of blessing on the other side. So, I don't know. I think it's just kind of something inside of me, something beyond me that's kind of just pushed me to just be honest and straight up and just tell my story in any opportunity that I have.
Since you brought the song Head in the Clouds up already, let's go into the video, because the most powerful revelation in life is a face that you put to a story. And in the video, you have people holding signs out about surviving cancer, surviving an abusive relationship, a sickness, a mental state. You have faces of people saying, this is my story. And then you have a message of hope. with the same faces in the video. Why was that the important message you wanted to give, not only in that video, but in the song itself?
I just think that, for one thing, I have to say that it's my proudest musical accomplishment, this video, just because, people have asked me, oh, where did you find these people? Like, was it like a casting call or what, or these made up stories? No, these are actually my friends and family members who have been through some crazy, crazy stories. Like you mentioned a few, but even, the loss of a child, a friend that was falsely accused of murder that spent time in jail and had to clear his name. So I just felt like, the way that I envisioned it after I wrote the song, I just had this clear vision of, I don't know why, but with the signs, I just think that sometimes that is a good way to kind of get people's attention, because I think we have very limited attention spans with just the way the world is right now. But I think, it's a video that you have to sometimes watch a couple times to get all the stories. But I was just really thinking of who in my life has been through something that, people can relate to, but, maybe something that some people can't even imagine, but have come through with a blessing. And so I just, approached those people and put it together. It was probably the most involved that I've been in the video.
I'm losing you again.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. But it was the most, would you say it was the most visual?
It was the most involved that I was in a video, just because I had that vision of exactly what I wanted it to portray. So I definitely, anybody that hasn't seen it, definitely check it out, because, definitely relatable. I think everybody can relate to one story or another. And so I thought, I want to share my story, but not only my story, but other people's stories. So that was important.
Ms. Walker, I want to ask you a question that goes a little bit beyond music, but stays relevant to your message. Do you mind?
No, I go right ahead.
We're in a world, we live in a world right now that's going through reconstruction. We have police brutality as a mainstay in our society worldwide. You're currently in Canada, so shout out to all my Canadians out there. You know what I'm saying? You see on TV right now justice, equality, brutality, racism, economics, identity, sexuality, preference, childbirth. You see all these things as the mainstay in society right now in the news. The people not trusting the government and things like that. And I always ask hip-hop artists, what is the responsibility you have as an MC? Since you've done a song that kind of touched on that already, why is it important for you not only to expose the truth, but to share that truth? So not only can we recognize it in melody, but we can also recognize it in actuality through your music.
Well, it's not my job to be.
Are we losing you again?
Oh, geez. I don't know what's going on with my phone. Is that
okay?
Better?
No, I can hear you now. This is going to be a great interview. We're good. Good.
Okay. Well, sorry, I forget what I was saying. Oh, I definitely think that, it's important for, if you have a platform, you need to shine light on these issues, because there are a lot of people that don't have that platform. So I think that it becomes part of our responsibility to really show, these true stories, these things that are happening all around the world. There's so many things that I want to write about that, some I have touched on, but there's so many other things that I want to touch on. And I just really feel like it is, kind of it is our responsibility, if we have that platform, shine light on the issues, and hopefully, it'll get someone's attention and make that change, because, it only takes, one song or one message, that can really make an impact. So I think that, although some people might not feel responsible for, sharing things or being, a role model, for me, that's always been important. And I think I'm just a truth teller, I want to tell the truth. I want to show what's really going on, and, let's do something about it.
Okay, I like how you said that, because we're going to go into history. Nina Simone said it is an artist's representation of the times that they live in. That's the biggest responsibility. That if you live in a world that's full of hatred, sing about the hate. If you live in a world that needs love, talk about the love that's needed. We live in a world right now where so many people are finally getting heard that we have to allow their voices to be heard and their stories to be told. That's why I thank you for that video. And shout out to Mr. Robinson, who sung on the remix. Shout out to you, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Ray Robinson.
But I want to ask you something. The United States and Canada, being that we are the North American continent, we're still different.
Mm-hmm.
You would still be categorized as an international artist. What is Canada's music scene like? And how does it differ from the American music scene?
I think that it's become a little bit more similar as time goes on, because when I first started writing and, recording and, making music, I felt like there weren't a lot of Canadian artists that were being heard. But now it seems like there are quite a few, which is great, but I still think that it's a very small number. Like, there, nothing wrong with the artists I might name, but like Drake and Justin Bieber. Like, I mean, you hear these artists on the radio, but you don't hear a lot. It's still like a very small number. That the commercial radio is simply not as open to urban music. So hip hop, R&B, you're going to hear that more on, the college university stations and, the independent stations, the online radio stations. That's where you're going to hear more of it. But as far as like mainstream music, it's I don't think it's really there yet. It's still kind of underground.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I ain't know Justin Bieber's from Canada because I think he's corny. I don't listen to him. But hey, shout out to Justin Bieber, I guess. He stinks. But that's just my opinion. But
yeah, like, I mean, yeah, he's from like a little town outside of, close to where I live. But, I mean, there are so many other artists that need to be heard that are so talented that I just think that, there needs to be more of it played.
I think, I'm sorry. I think because America is so prejudiced to the world that America has to be first, I think people of color have already acknowledged the greatness of international music. And I don't just mean Afrobeats. I mean, the West Indian culture is very prominent in Canada. You see what I'm saying? And we talked about Caribbean a little earlier, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in hip-hop, we know about Cardinal Official. We know about, what's my man who made, Chaos. Even old school, the Cookie Crew. We know about some people who came from up top. But the thing about it is that because of mainstream culture in America seems to be like all Canada good for is hockey, because that's what's good, the NHL or something. I think Canada gets unfairly represented as the cold country and not as a country full of culture. If a person like me, I've never been to Canada before, I'm going to Canada Tell me what I'm going to experience about Canada and what's going to make the music and the culture pop to make me never forget it.
Well, I definitely think, like you said, Caravana would give you that experience. There's a lot of people here from all different backgrounds, but definitely, reggae music is really big. And there are a lot of West Indian people here. So shout out to all the West Indian people.
That's right.
They definitely bring that. I know it's there in the US as well, but in Canada maybe a little bit more so. And along with that comes, the food and just the culture. I grew up. I'm from the U.S., but I grew up for the most part in Canada, and so I definitely see the differences. I see that most people of color in Canada either come from Jamaica or Barbados. Like they come from Trinidad. They come from somewhere in the West Indies, as opposed to the U.S., where, my family's from the South. So I think that there's just, you would definitely experience that culture when it comes to Caravana. In Toronto, it's a pretty big music scene where, you can catch a lot of live acts. Well, not right now with COVID, but in general, open mics and just so many talented, even for myself, I'm still, discovering new talented artists, like on a regular basis. So I think that, with time, we're definitely gonna show some more people that deserve to be heard.
That's good, because in America, to get on, you have to be co-signed by somebody, and you got to go through all these damn steps. Is it the same in Canada? And if it is, who co-signed you to put you on that major stage?
I think that it used to be a little bit easier, but now it's tough. I've sent music to, my local stations, and they say, oh, well, we have a lot of music that we're adding right now, so we're not gonna add this song, and you'd expect the most support from, the city where you're from, but it doesn't necessarily happen if you're not signed to a major label, and you have to have a certain backing to really get on those commercial stations. So I found that, a lot of my support comes from the independent stations and the college and university stations. So I think when I first started out, I was, in my 20s, and Toronto, one of their biggest stations is Flow 93.5. And so I just kind of knew someone who knew someone and sent them my music, and they added in rotation. And then it became like one of the, top songs of the year. And
Nice.
It just kind of, and then so I made a little bit of a name for myself back then. But then after all my issues with my health, everything got put on hold. So as I kind of started to get back into it, at least some people remembered, oh, I remember that song. So that kind of helped me out a little bit, just because, I had some songs and videos out, in the past when it was a little bit easier to get my foot in the door.
Well, we're glad that you didn't give up, because a lot of the things that is expressed in your voice is not music. Like I said, it's feeling. And a lot of music today is dead sound. Do you agree?
I agree. I definitely agree. And I really appreciate you saying that, because I think it's really important for me to, really bring the feeling, the emotion behind the music. A lot of stuff that is played on the mainstream, again, is just like noise to me. I like music of substance, where you're actually talking about something real. Tell me what you've really been through, not a lot of things are glorified that I don't think should be. I mean, there's different different types of music for, different times and places. I get that. You want to have your party songs and whatnot, but just how, things like popping pills and drinking and just, very sexual nature of a lot of the music, it's just noise. To me, it's just noise. Tell me something real. So I changed the channel. I honestly don't really listen to much commercial radio. I'm still old school. I'm still listening to CDs or, like I said, some of the college and the independent stations, because I just, I think it's important to expose yourself to different types of music. So I might flip through the radio and find, this is different, and want to listen to this song or that song. But when it comes to a song that is just noise or is glorifying something that I find negative, then I just don't have a tolerance for it. I just switch it.
So here we go. I'm going to ask you a question that is something essential to many singers that I ask. Do you feel that 90s R&B was the last era of real R&B and 2000s R&B is subtle garbage?
I don't think so, but I do think that we have to dig. We have to dig a little deeper for it. Every once in a while, a song will come out, and often it gives you that old school vibe, or it's like a timeless song. But again, I think we have to dig a little deeper for it. I think the 90s R&B was probably played a lot more on, the mainstream stations. And, back then, I know in Canada we have much music, but, we had Rap City and Much Vibe and all these different ways of getting our videos out there. So a lot of people, vibe into those videos and playing that music, and it was more. Now
it's more what?
A lot of that noise, that music that's just a bunch of noise, like it kind of overshadows the good music. So we have to dig for it.
Yeah, and that's what I hate. That's the one thing I want to add. Well, for you, it'd be the same thing. I believe that Spotify and technology and Tidal and YouTube, it hurt the game, but it gave the independent artist a shot, because now you can get somebody like a QR card and they can find you. You could get somebody, you could wear a shirt that says Faith Walker on YouTube, and somebody with a phone will be like, let me go to YouTube and see who Faith Walker is. And they can advertisement and be able to be touched and to be able to be found is so much easier than going to a label and asking them for money and them saying no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, people are making music in their basements. They don't have to go to some big studio and spend a bunch of money and have people backing them. It definitely has given, the independent artists a lot more of a chance to be heard. But with that, you're also getting some of the garbage that's easily heard too. So
facts. Speaking of beating the garbage, a lot of people go through this garbage that life has to give in the isms, whether it's racism, prejudice, drug abuse, so many isms. I can't even talk about them right now. It's too many because they get depressing. And people fight these things, and they need somebody to pick them up. You have a song called Ain't Easy. Tell me about that song and how you wanted to help people fight those isms and negative stigmas in life.
Definitely. I'm actually excited to be shooting a video for Ain't Easy this month. And basically, the first verse of the song tells, the story of me, with my second cancer diagnosis and just, I fractured my spine and learning to walk again. And so for that song, the hook, the chorus is really just saying, like, life is not always easy, but we just got to keep going, keep holding on. The second verse goes into my experience with being in an abusive relationship and, my house being busted by a SWAT team because, my ex had guns in the house and, children and how they were affected by that. So, again, topics people can relate to, but I actually
Yeah, well, we're happy that you got over it. Most people may not be able to relate, but being able to overcome is something that everybody has to experience or has wanted to experience in their life. So before we close out the interview, Ms. Walker, first and foremost, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Please give everybody your social media so they know how to find you, stream your music, and hear and learn more about you.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for having me. And you can find, I would say, my most Instagram, so it's at Faith Walker Music. Check me out on there, and I have links to my YouTube videos, songs. Again, Head in the Clouds, EPs on all platforms, and Facebook page Faith Walker. Well, just search Faith Walker Music, and you will find me.
That's right. Just search that Faith Walker Music, and you're gonna find the wonderful Faith Walker. And everybody out there, Faith Walker has a song that you like. Streaming is good, but purchasing is power. Because if the internet ever went down and you just stream, you have no music to listen to. But if you purchase it, not only is it yours, but you're sewing and giving financial support to the artist that makes the music. So if you love their music and you have a song, spend the dollar. You spend $1 on a scratch off or water or a drink or something. We're not always that damn thirsty. So please take the dollar and buy the single. And if the single's worth it and you hear more, purchase the EP, purchase the album, and guarantee yourself more of her music and giving her the ability and platform to create music for you. All right? Now, it's time for us to have some fun. These are the rapid-fire questions. They're not yes-no questions. They're questions to show your depth and your understanding of not only what you do, but who you are as an artist. Are you ready to have some fun with us?
I'm ready.
All right. So, Ms. Walker, what song perfectly describes your life, song or album that's made by another artist?
Oh, my goodness. That's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
You just hit me with a tough one. Let's see. I would say one that stands out is the Miss Education, Miss Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
It's kind of like a broad reflection of a lot of things that have happened in my life. So I would say that one.
I'm waiting for you to make your Miss Education. We're ready for it. I'm saying I'm putting in the air right now that you're gonna make a classic album. So I'm waiting for it. All right.
Okay, I'm on it.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Next question. You have a gift that's different than most people because most people can't do one or the other, but you do both. You're a singer and a songwriter, right?
Yes, that's right.
What's harder, singing or writing songs?
I would say writing songs.
Why?
That's a lot more practice, and you really have to be, vulnerable and open yourself up to. I mean, it depends on what you're writing about, but for me, when I'm talking about what's real, the songwriting, to me, I think it has more weight for me. I got to get it right. I really got to get it right. When you're performing or when you're singing, I think, there are other things that come with that are challenging. You get the songwriting, then everything else falls into place.
Okay. Now, see, in my opinion, I think the singer is more appreciated than the songwriter. Do you agree?
Yes, definitely. I think so.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the $1 million question, and you tell me why, okay?
Okay.
Michael Jackson is a singer, not a songwriter, correct?
Yeah, I would say.
Prince is a songwriter and a singer, correct?
Yes.
Who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh. Ouch. I think they're both amazing in their own right.
Yeah, that's a cop out. But give me one. Here we go. Who you got?
But I always give more credit to the songwriter. So.
Oh, so Prince is better?
I'd have to say, you're making it hard.
That's right. That's right.
They both have their different talents in different ways. You know, like Michael Jackson is like true performer, dancer. So he brings that to the table. You know, but for me, I just place a lot of value on the songwriter, people that actually write their own music. For me, that's really important. So
Prince is better.
I refuse. But yeah, I think I kind of answered the question without being too.
Okay, so this make it harder. Who's better, Prince or R. Kelly? Huh?
I would say Prince, definitely, but I think there's just like this, you know, obviously a stigma around R. Kelly. Like prior to everything coming out, he really has written so many songs for so many people, and so I do respect that, but I don't respect him as a person. So I think I would definitely have to say Prince.
No problem. See, I just see Heritage Hip Hop. We have fun and we ask hard questions. You like them so far, don't you?
Definitely.
Ms. Walker, I appreciate you as a singer-songwriter because you're able to express things that I mean, even though I can't really relate to it, I feel it though. You know what I'm saying? Like when most people sing, I go to sleep. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't go to sleep on your album, okay? So it kept me there, and being that you kept me there, you put me in thought. I want to ask you, what song changed your life? That when you heard it, it changed your thoughts and your feelings.
I think Whitney Houston, The Greatest Love of All,
because
that was the first song that I really learned to sing, and you know, the first person to tell me that, you know, I really could sing was, I think, one of my babysitters. It was the first person, like, other than my mama, because you know your mom's going to tell you you're a great singer. And so I just, you know, always kind of aspired to be, you know, an incredible singer. And I think that song was just like my start to it all.
You have a lot of New Jersey music. So shout out to New Jersey. We holding it down all over the world, y'all. We in Canada. Okay. I want to ask you this. If I was able to produce your dream song, who would be the producer of your song? And would you sing with somebody else? Who would you work with? And here's the catch. Dead or alive, no limitations. What would you do?
Oh, my goodness. You are hitting me with the hard questions. You know, it's really hard to say. I don't know if it would be a collaboration, because I think that if it was going to be, you know, that important of a song for me, then I'd probably do it on my own. There's so many artists out there that I would love to work with, but producers as well. I think maybe, I don't know, some of this might be kind of old school, but like Dark Child, or maybe even like Premier, Ninth Wonder. Like there's so many producers that I would gladly work with. So I'm not, you know what, I'm one of those people, I'm not good at picking one or picking favorites. I'm like, I like this, and I like variety, and so it's hard for me you give me the hard questions because it's hard for me to say just one, but I'm definitely, I think it would more come down to not necessarily who produced it, but just, what the song was about and the feeling that it gave me. And so I think that could come from any producer, really.
Nice.
Is that a cop-out or?
No, I'm loving all your answers because you gave me a new question. You ready for it?
Okay, I'm ready.
Being an MC is being able to control the crowd. Being a singer is being able to move the crowd. But y'all both do the same thing. As an MC, your performance will separate you from the common rapper. As a singer, I want to know what's best for you. Singing with a live band or singing with music behind you, like a track?
Definitely with a live band. I wish I could always perform with a live band because it just brings just so much of that feeling. I think that over the years, I usually would perform with tracks just because it's easier than, getting a whole band together. And it's hard to coordinate all that and have, being able to practice and all those things that kind of come to working with a band. But I hands down would prefer, a live band backing me.
I'm going to say something that's very strong because y'all not the same artist, but I can see y'all do the same thing. Do you mind?
I don't mind.
You remember Lisa Fisher?
No. Who's that?
Lisa Fisher is one of the strongest voices ever. She was the background singer for Luther Vandross, and she came out with a song called How Can I Ease the Pain? Her voice was very strong, while yours is very inflective. But what y'all both do is you catch chords in your inflection or your vocals. I would like for you to hear that song and hear how her voice changes in the tempo. What I wanted to ask you and bringing her up is this. What's the difference between a singer and a vocalist?
Well, for me, I was never formally trained, so I never, learned to read music or really play any instruments, a little piano later in life. But I think that often a vocalist has that down. They can sing any note. They can, do all the tricks with their voice. They can read music. They, not always, but they have full control over their instrument. A singer can be anyone that, can carry a tune. So I think a vocalist is kind of next level.
Okay. Where most singers nowadays are nasal, real singers sing from their diaphragm. When did you know you hit your note when you sung?
When did I know what? Sorry?
You hit your note when you sung.
I don't know. I guess I just always have gone with what feels right, what doesn't sound off. If it sounds, okay, I would often come up with, maybe 2 or 3 melodies when I'm writing a song, and then just, okay, which one sounds the best? Which one fits the music the best? I don't know, and I don't know where that came from, again, because I was just self-taught. But I guess I would just feel it out and okay, this sounds right, and try to put myself kind of outside of myself, like I'm the listener, not just the person singing, and okay, does this sound right, or are people going to be covering their ears when I hit this note?
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, because then I'm going to ask you, what's the biggest victory you have received since doing music?
I think the biggest victory was just the Head in the Clouds remix video. Like for me, that was just my greatest accomplishment so far. I've won, some awards for some local shows, but I don't put that much value in the reward. I mean, I'm not trying to say, like, of course it's great to be recognized for your talent, but it's not always, the people that deserve it that receive the accolades. So, I mean, if you want to give me a Grammy, I'll take it. But for me, I just think it's more about, telling a story and making an impact that's going to affect people.
Word. Everybody, once again, this is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop and Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, and we're with the wonderful Faith Walker, who not only saves lives with her music, she gives life with her music as well. So we thank you for coming on Heritage Hip Hop to interview with us. We've come to our final question, which is the most important question we ask everybody on their first interview, meaning you are always welcome to come back. There's an open door. We're not industry, so you don't have to tell your publicist or whatever. You can contact us, and we can make an interview and make everything happen for you, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No doubt. With that being said, here's the final question. Unfortunately, one day, you're not going to be on this earth anymore. And with COVID going on, and with everything going on in this world, we do not wish anything on you or your family at this time. So may the Most High bless you and keep your life abundant for a very, very long time and many years to come. Okay? Let's hit that there first. But unfortunately, there will be a day where you're not going to be here. And tragically, in let's just say 1,000 years, that's a good number, right? 1,000? That's all right?
Okay.
Okay, so in 1,000 years, there's going to be this great big snowstorm, right? And a building is going to fall. And then about, 3 months after that storm is over, a pretty little girl one day is going to walk down the street and trip on something. And she's going to find this weird box in the ground. And she's going to move the earth and see what the hell was that. And it was a laptop. Because they don't use those in the future. You know that, right? That's old stuff. And when she uncovers that laptop, she's going to find something weird called the MP3. And Faith Walker's music is on that laptop. And your music is going to be reintroduced to the world 1,000 years from now. My most important question to you is, what is the legacy that you left behind in the world that made it better because you did music?
Well, I think that I have probably a newer perspective on that, because I will tell you, 2 months ago, I was given 2 days to live. And for me, that brought so many things, to mind that I never had really thought of, like all the things that go through your head, just trying to prepare. I think what was most important for me as far as, a legacy, is just telling people that, they're not alone and that they can get through anything. I think that message is definitely something positive I could leave behind that I think could really do some good in the world. So,
okay. So everybody out there, remember, there's always good that can be done in the world, and you can be the author of that good. And no matter what life throws at you, you could tell it to go to hell and give life back what you want to give it. And as long as positivity is in it, you will always be blessed, and the world will remember your blessings for generations to come. Once again, this is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop with Miss Faith Walker. Closing out, we say peace, and we out.
Thank you for once again listening to this Heritage Hip Hop Podcast interview with Faith Walker. Faith Walker has music out right now that talks not only about her overcoming the struggles of being a cancer survivor and the issues that come with, love and finding strength. She sings towards the strength of the listener to help them find their inner voice. And that is always very important, to know that somebody cares and somebody's listening to you. So everybody out there, if you want some uplifting music with a nice melody and a good tone, please check out Miss Faith Walker. Thank you once again for listening to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode was brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. If you're looking to get out of debt, fixing your credit would be the number one thing that will help, as it keeps money in your wallet instead of coming out for bills. If you're interested, please contact Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, or you can call them at 862-250-5122 and tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you. For everybody listening, thank you for supporting us. You can support us by going to www.heritagehiphop.com to see more videos of video interviews. You can hear more podcast interviews. We are highlighting albums and people in the hip hop culture, not just musicians who give to our culture and help build it. We have a YouTube page, Heritage Hip Hop at YouTube, which you can subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you can see our past interviews and also hear the past podcasts that you may have missed. We have a talk show called The Mic Council, where we talk about issues that go on in the hip hop culture, and they're very special to us as we really dive deep into what is hip hop and how do we secure our culture from being taken from us. If you'd like to get some apparel, you could go to our store, www.storefrontier.com/heritage hip hop, and get a shirt, a hoodie, or anything that can keep you warm and stylish throughout the many days to come. Heritage Hip Hop is brought to you by Fatty's Place, our virtual assistant. If you're looking for help to get your social media to pop and to look great, contact Fatty's Place at FADDYSPLACE on Instagram. Our marketing, promotion, and placement department is ran by a prolific MC by the name of Firejaws. You can contact him at FIREJAWS. He's an MC that went from not only being on the microphone, but to working on promotion, placement, and marketing, and he can help you with your talents as well. So if you're looking for help, Firejaws is the person to talk to. We also have two other entertainers that is on the Heritage Hip Hop Network. We have Lex Diamonds of Diamonds Entertainment LLC. You can get him at DIEMENZ Entertainment LLC on Instagram. And we have Adiyar, who is the host of The Big A Show. I'm the co-host. And that show is crazy. We talk about entertainment, life, and everything that matters from the male point of view. And you can catch that season 1 of that show on YouTube at AHDAYAR. That's Adiyar on YouTube. Season 2 will be coming soon, so make sure you pay attention and take note, because we're going to take over the world with that one. Thank you once again for listening to Heritage Hip Hop. We're happy that everyone who likes us, supports us. Please visit our websites. Please just stay tuned, because we have more things coming. We bring your future favorite artists to you right now, and we celebrate the Most High. Because hip-hop is not music. Hip-hop is God within you. And with that being said, please stay safe during COVID-19. And to everybody out there fighting for justice and equality, stay within the fight. And no matter what happens, your voice is being heard. So for everybody out there who's fighting, we say peace, and we out.